You may not know this about me, but before I became an archaeologist, I was a builder. I built buildings, and that meant I spent a lot of time reading blueprints. Now, when you read enough blueprints, you start to notice things. You see certain things over and over again. What I mean by that is that certain architectural designs are repeated over and over again throughout history. They become, and there's a reason for that, because some designs work really well. They're very functional. Take, for example, the layout of most houses. You have rooms that are situated around a central hall. In ancient houses, they might be laid out around an interior courtyard, but it's essentially the same thing. There are multiple rooms attached to a central space. It works well from an engineering standpoint, and it makes sense why this design shows up over and over again. Because at the end of the day, you want your house to be functional. But what does this have to do with the Bible? Well, the Bible, too, is full of blueprints. The book of Exodus, for example, contains the blueprint for building the tabernacle. And just like a good architect, I can spot when someone copies another blueprint. That got me thinking, which structure is the biggest one described in the Bible? The tabernacle, maybe? Or how about Solomon's temple? Those are pretty big, but I think there's something bigger. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the biggest construction project ever undertaken, at least according to the Bible, and see what we can learn from it. To understand what the biggest construction in the Bible is, we first have to ask what qualifies as a construction. Is it a building? How about a wall? Or what about a city? For this list, let's focus on buildings, walls, and towers. Let's start with the smallest on our list and work our way up. First, we have the tabernacle, which was a portable tent-like structure used by the Israelites during their travels in the wilderness. It consisted of several smaller tents that were all put together. So if we add them all up, we get a total length of 300 feet, a width of 180 feet, and a height of 15 feet. But the tabernacle had a purpose, and that was to contain the Ark of the Covenant, which represented God's presence among his people. So it makes sense that it would be relatively small. You wouldn't want too many people crowding around the Ark. Next, you have Solomon's temple, which was a huge construction project that took 6 years to complete. It measured approximately 60 feet wide, 100 feet long, and 100 feet high. It was made of massive cedar planks and was decorated with intricate carvings and gold leafing. Compared to the tabernacle, it was much larger, but compared to the largest construction projects, it wasn't even close. So who built the biggest buildings? According to the Bible, it was Nimrod. In the book of Belshazzar, chapter 4, we read that he built 3 towers, first being 45 cubits high, the second 45 cubits, and the third a whopping 90 cubits. Now, depending on how you convert the cubits, these towers could be anywhere between 270 and 360 feet tall. The biggest one would be almost 700 feet tall. It's taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa and almost as tall as the Eiffel Tower. Now, the Bible tells us that these towers reached up into the sky so that the people of Babel could make a name for themselves and not be scattered across the earth. But God came down and confused their language so that they could understand each other, and the project was abandoned. So there you have it. The biggest construction project ever undertaken was the Tower of Babel. Aren't you glad that God is on your side? He's not just a real estate developer looking to build the biggest tower in the world, but he's a loving father who wants to have a personal relationship with each one of us. So while Nimrod and Babel may have wanted to reach the heavens on their own, God has given us a way to reach him through Jesus, as the Bible says in John chapter 14, verse 6. Jesus said to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So whether you're an architect or a builder, remember that nothing is impossible for God. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.